service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 400 area companies with business solutions since 1984. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of all CNC local news pages. Small but intense thunderstorms popped up all around the Rochester area on Thursday, driven by the hot, muggy weather, but one storm in particular made its mark on the town of Greece, bringing down trees and power lines. The National Weather Service said it hit around 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. It cut power to about 1,700 people, and that was down to 250 by midnight, 175 by Friday morning, and all but one restored by 11:30 Friday when this is being recorded. News 8 meteorologist Scott Hetzko says this wasn't even listed as a severe storm, but it generated a microburst downdraft, a shot of cold air that drops from a storm cloud like a column of water from a faucet. And that downdraft brought down numerous trees around Straub Road and Long Pond Road in an area about half a mile square. The heat wave drags on. Relief is coming Friday night from a cold front. Unfortunately, that will also mean thunderstorms and strong winds. Meanwhile, the governor is asking New Yorkers to keep their air conditioning set at 78 while the heat continues. All of western New York and the Finger Lakes is under a heat advisory Friday, just as it was Thursday and Wednesday. The heat index expected to top 100. The Greater Rochester Association of Realtors says sales of existing homes in the Rochester area fell by just over 4% during the last 3 months compared with a year ago. Their second quarter report says 2,900 homes sold from April through July, down from more than 3,000 last year. On the plus side, new listings in the 11-county Greater Rochester region increased by 10%, pending sales by 4.7%, and those are an indication of future activity since closings take about 2 months. The median sale price for a Rochester area home rose 4%, $129,000 now. The Democratic Party candidates for Arundecoit supervisor and town board held a news conference Friday morning calling for termination of the tax abatement on the Medley Center. The moribund mall off East Ridge Road was supposed to be redeveloped into a mixed-use housing, retail, and entertainment complex by developer Scott Conjal. He got a long-term property tax reduction through Monroe County's Industrial Development Agency, known as COMITA, but Conjal made his plans and went looking for money just as the Great Recession hit, and credit dried up. He was never able to bring his plans to fruition. Supervisor candidate Adam Bello plus town board candidates Lori Barnum and Dave Seeley say the town should now push to end the tax deal since Conjal has failed to meet the investment milestones in the agreement. Only COMITA has the authority to do that, but Democrats say they want the town to be on record. Finally, they want a task force of Arundecoit business leaders, local residents, and developers to work out a plan for what to do with the abandoned mall. Rochester firefighters helped a man get out of the Genesee River early Friday morning after he fell from beneath the Broad Street Bridge. The department said 2 men were in the old Erie Canal aqueduct below the bridge when one fell into the river. The water level is low because of the hot spell right now, so after checking to make sure the Court Street Dam wasn't going to send more water over, firefighters were able to climb down onto the rock ledge below the aqueduct. They walked the victim out, and he was able to climb their ladder out of the riverbed despite having suffered cuts and bruises. Wegmans confirms it will not sell the August issue of Rolling Stone magazine. A spokeswoman did not elaborate, but this is the issue that's caused an uproar because it features the accused Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev on the cover in what many interpret as a rock star pose. A number of stores are refusing to sell the issue. The issue contains an investigative story on how Tsarnaev fell into radical Islam and became a monster. That's a quote from the cover. Ironically, the same photo appeared on the front page of the New York Times the day after Tsarnaev was arrested. A Washington Post blogger thought to check with officials at the Times and found they got little or no negative reaction. He concludes there's a big difference in how people view the daily news and a publication like Rolling Stone. New York's Department of Labor says the unemployment rate is now the lowest since early 2009, and Rochester is beating the state jobless average. The unemployment rate for the Rochester metro area in June was an even 7%, down nearly a full point from 7.9 over the past 12 months. The statewide jobless rate for June was 7.5%, and that's down slightly, 7.6% in May, and it was down from 8.7% a year ago. The Labor Department says New York State has now made good all the jobs, at least in raw numbers, that were lost in the recession. That makes it one of 8 states to do so. Of course, that says nothing about the quality of the new jobs. Upstate as a whole cut its jobless rate June to June by a full point. These numbers still mean that 721,000 New Yorkers who wanted to work in June could not find a job. Links to these and other stories are to the left of the player window on CNC Pages. At the bottom of the page are links you can use to post your news and information directly to us. The next news podcast is As It Happens, updates as necessary. And I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.